Welcome back. This will be the first in a series of the gear that I'm bringing to the Mammoth Sniper Challenge. It's a very popular event. A lot of people have a ton of videos about it. So what I'm going to do for you guys is do one video per each piece of equipment so that you can just find that single video, not have to go through an hour of kit layout and waste a ton of time. So we'll get right to it. This is the rifle that I'm shooting at Mammoth. I am the secondary shooter, so the rules state secondary shooter has to shoot either 7.62 or 5.56. I'm bringing 5.56. So we'll talk through this rifle and some of the considerations that I have for this with this particular competition. The heart of this rifle is going to be the Sons of Liberty Gunworks SPR upper with their 18-inch barrel. This barrel is super accurate. I've seen the Sons precision barrel side by side with a proof barrel, and they're both shooting the same size groups. So I'm very, very happy with Sons of Liberty Gunworks and what they've been able to pull off as far as accuracy of the barrel, rigidity of the handguard in the upper. So I'm very, very confident in this system going forward. On the muzzle, I just have the Surefire competition brake. This was, frankly, really easy to get, very inexpensive relatively. I know it works well. I don't need a mounted suppressor. I don't want to bring the extra weight of a can for this competition. So this was a really easy choice to throw on the end of this rifle for me. Also, while it is a very effective brake, it's not so punishing as it be an issue for the person that you're shooting with if you guys are in close confines. So I like kind of having an effective brake, but not something that disrupts everybody around you. Up top, I'm shooting the Loophole Mark 6. So this is the 3-18, and it has the Trimmer 3 reticle in it. Up top, we have an Aimpoint T2, not an Acro. We got a battery cap for an extra battery. So again, back to taking to the competition, I want to have some extra stuff on me, but not too much. So one extra battery that works for both optics is definitely ideal. And that's in the Conco mount that gets it just above the turret there. So really good setup here for having that close-up red dot, having it for spotting things further out, stuff like that. Do I think this is going to be super critical to this match? Probably not, but I like having some kind of secondary system, something to help me spot and then get down as my magnified optic. On the back here, I have the Knights bubble level. Again, it's an effective bubble level, but it's also lightweight, keeps things kind of slick in the back and out of the way. Geisley airborne charging handle, SPR grip, again my favorite grip. Geisley SSAE trigger in here, the trigger that I use all the time. I'm using the Magpul 20 round PMags. So I'll bring 3 of these magazines. I probably only need 1 or 2, but I want to have some redundancy in case something ridiculous happens. What could happen to a 20 round PMag? Who knows, but I'm sure we'll find out over the 3 days of Mammoth. Butt stock, it's the B5 stock. I have the Sun and Shadow cheek riser here that helps me get a really solid, consistent, and repeatable cheek weld. And I have the Sub RevTech bag rider and their lever. So these 2 things let me get really solid purchase on a bag, have rear support, and the latch here is basically impossible to deactivate by accident with a bag. So it's very important to me. You don't want your stock going forward while you're shooting. That tends to be a disaster. I'm using a classic Viking Tactics sling. I don't think I'm going to need a sling too much, but it's good to have the opportunity. If you have to get some extra support, use it for some kind of unconventional position, use it for offhand shooting, right? That could be a competition thing, as well as displace quickly. It's better to be able to put this thing strapped to you and use your hands for something else if you have to do that. So I have it corner to corner here, good QD mount from Magpul up front that enables me to kind of find a good spot in here and not add anything to it because it's riding off the top rail. Definitely an advantage from Magpul. On the bottom, we have our Harris bipod. Again, this is kind of like the classic traditional bipod that everyone uses. I like it, again, because it's very simple, it's robust, and keeping weight and bulk down. On the inboard side of the rifle, I have the Vortex Impact 4000 laser rangefinder with a cover from MKD Machine. And this cover kind of pops open to protect it from the elements. So I like having just a little bit of protection on my very critical laser rangefinder, which is tied to this button over here. It's like a Bluetooth kind of connection, so I can be behind the gun, I can range, I can look down off my left and see what I got to see here. This laser rangefinder is really great because it'll let me not only distance, but it'll do all those ballistic computer tasks as well. So I can either confirm a target because I know it's at a certain distance, or instead I can rapidly range and engage. And if I trust what I'm getting off of the laser rangefinder, I can just look at the correction that's giving me and shoot holes through my optic. As far as ammunition, I was shooting Black Hill 77 grain, kind of the classic standard there, and I'll bring probably around 120 rounds. Is that probably too much ammunition? I think so. I would expect to have maybe a little bit extra, but I want to have 20 rounds at the end of it instead of going into the last shooting event with only 10 bullets and wondering if I don't have enough. So in closing, guys, this is the rifle I'm bringing to Mammoth Sniper Challenge. I'm a secondary shooter, and this is my 5.56 gun. If you guys have any questions about this rifle or my prep for Mammoth, please let me know in the comments. Thank you.